final frontier. These are your adventures as you explore, seeking out new life and civilizations, expanding your borders and exploiting the resources you find, befriending allies, or exterminating the foes that get in your way.
Contact detected entering sector. Configuration unknown. Assessing. Initiating countermeasures.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Star Trek New Worlds. My name is Tony. Thank you for joining us here on Saturday, 11 o'clock, on this wonderful day, November 4th. Happy birthday, Mom. For those of you who are wondering, what in the world is Star Trek New Worlds? Star Trek New Worlds is a turn-based strategy game that we play here online with you today on Twitch and Facebook, or sorry, not Facebook, Twitch and YouTube Live. And we play it with you live, inspired by the rule set of Federation and Empire, as published by the Amarillo Design Bureau. And the maps that you are about to see are populated by the program Vassal. Yes, we play it online here as part of a community that you can join as well. You can either be like Zykez down below, hit that subscribe button and be a participant in our community here on YouTube. Of course, you'll have to hit that alert or notification button to make sure that you catch all the latest and greatest things that are coming your way. You can also head over to that QR code and or that link down below, coffee.com, and you can join us on our Discord channel with the Coffee and Discord tier to be able to participate in the witty banter and the back and forth that is going on there. A couple key things before we get started in today's episode. What are we talking about today? We are talking about a bump in the night, an interaction between players. Yes, it's true. Some people are about to make first contact. Who are they? We'll find out here in a moment. And, of course, we're talking today about our New Horizons campaign. That's right. We have 3 campaigns operating concurrently. Last week, we talked about Splintered Will. That's one of them. Today, we're talking about New Horizons. That's another. And we will be exploring the expansion, the statistics, and, of course, the bumping in the night of what is going on. Again, couple little things to note. One, our best wishes are going into Mayhem, a member of our community here on Discord, who is in the midst of some serious medical stuff that's going on, and so we are wishing him the best, a quick recovery, and the best of luck as we go forward. And in inspiration and motivation for that, for every 4 coffees that we'll be receiving today, we'll be sending Mayhem a different glass from our glass collection over on our shop at stnewworlds.com. So you can head over to that. If you're already at the YouTube channel, the link is right there. We'll put the link in the comments below here in a second. stnewworlds.com, you can head over there. That shows you what kind of glasses we have available. He already has the Splintered Will glass, and so we could send him things like this wonderful beverage. This is, ladies and gentlemen, a coffee has already been fired. Let's celebrate it now with a swig from the sweet elixir coming from this 4X glass that you will also find on that channel. or that URL. So this is the newly, slightly remodeled version of the 4X glass from New Worlds. It is, I explored strange new worlds. I expanded the borders of my influence. I exploited resources and built bridges to the stars. I exterminated those who got in my way. So yes, we'll be for every 4 coffees that we get, we'll be sending Mayhem another glass. Again, just as a little something that we can do. Boom! Mysterious. Who was that? That was the mysterious antagonist. And of course, Robin J sending the first coffee there. Thank you, gentlemen. All right. And one last program, or I guess 2 more programming notes. You might notice there's this red thing on my chest. It is a poppy. And that is in recognition of November 11th, which next week pops on a Saturday. On the 11th November at 11 o'clock, we remember those who have fought in our defense. In celebration, November 11th at 11 o'clock is when World War I came to an end. So for those of us who celebrate with the poppy, we recognize our military veterans on the 11th day at the 11th hour. So that just happens to be when we go live here on this show. I'll be at my own Memorial Day, or not Memorial Day, Remembrance Day ceremony. And so we will not be running our show at 11 o'clock. There will be a new timing later in the day, probably more towards the evening and afternoon. And I will let you know in the community tab and notifications on the YouTube channel when that happens. And here's the second. We talked about bevies and banter on the community channel before. So later today, again, be on the notification or be on the lookout for the community tab and notifications for a new session that will be going live. We'll be going live in the Discord channel at 6 o'clock p.m. 6 o'clock p.m. on the Pacific time is whatever it is for your local, but the Guy Fawkes Day is on Sunday. Now, for those of us in the UK, 8 hours ahead, boom, ladies and gentlemen, another coffee has been fired. Let me get this out quick, and then I will celebrate the coffee firing. Someone has fired that coffee. So Guy Fawkes Day, and we'll be celebrating with our friends in the UK. They are 8 hours ahead of the 6 o'clock timing here, which puts it squarely on Guy Fawkes Day, which is November 5th, over there on that side of the earth. So, yeah, we'll be doing a combination of poker and banter and talking about all things Star Trek and where everybody is and who's going to bump into who and all those kinds of things. So if you're one of the folks in our community, then please join us there. We'll also be live streaming some of our bitter banter back and forth, so you'll get to see some of that too. Right, so we talked about November 11th. We talked about the banter and bevies, and I guess that's it. Let's get into the show today. So I have a new character I would like to unveil for you. And let me tell you about the inspiration and the motivation for it. So the other day we were going back and forth with ChatGPT and asking it to sort of populate some video descriptions for videos on this channel. And we're asking it to do it in the voice of so-and-so. And I did one in the voice of Snoop Dogg, and I was reading it, and I was realizing that it was not quite in the voice of Snoop Dogg. And if I read it verbatim, it might come across slightly the wrong way. But when I was reading it, I was thinking of the Wolfman. If you guys remember the Wolfman DJ from the 60s and 70s, the Wolfman was quite a character, had a persona, and so I was thinking of introducing, and you can tell me how this goes, a new character by the name of ATM. Alien of the Moment. Now, ATM is sort of like inspired by and motivated by the sort of groovy, chill DJs, i.e., the Wolfman and maybe some like 70s, funky guys, that kind of thing. So, anyways, I'm going to read this. You let me know what you think, and you let me know. But give me the feedback, and we'll see. Quick sip from the coffee in celebration of all those coffees fired our way. Ooh, Wolfman Jack. Ow! Ow, ow, ow. All right, here we go. All right. So this is the video description for today's episode, but in the voice of this new character. Yo, what's crack-a-lackin', space homies? It's your boy, ATM, alien of the moment, coming at you with the livest Star Trek New World session yet, and we're getting all intergalactic up in here when factions collide. Check it. We got two crews about to throw down in this massive 4X map, uncovering the mysteries of the cosmos like only a true Starfleet captain could. This ain't just about phasers and photon torpedoes. Now, we're exploring the final frontier, keeping it 100 with strategy and then big brain plays. These players are cruising through the stars, expanding domains, and stacking up on that future tech. And hey, when they finally meet, it's going to be like two supernovas colliding in the vastness of space. We're keeping the spirit of Star Trek alive, where discovery is the name of the game, and every new sector could flip the script on the entire galaxy. So whether you're down for a peaceful parlay or some space-age beef, you best not blink or you'll miss the action. Ain't nothing like a Star Trek throwdown, and your boy ATM is here to guide you through the nebula of gameplay and fellowship. So gather up, Trekkies, and strategy buffs, because this stream is hotter than a warp core breach. Hit that, smash that like and subscribe button, and ring that bell like you're ringing the intercom to the bridge. We about to take this Star Trek New World's exploration when factions collide to the next level. Stay tuned, because we're riding high on this cosmic voyage where alliances are forged and fates decided. And remember, in the words of the greats, live long and prosper, baby. Peace out from the ATM of the Starship Enterprise. And let's make first contact lit. All right, so that was obviously quite inspired by Snoop Dogg, as interpreted by ChatGPT. So you let me know what you think of that and how things are going. But before we dive into the exciting and tantalizing map, let's say hello to the folks in the chat already. Let me pop out this chat so I can see what's going on. Boom. There it is. Okay. So already we've got Devin Dean in the house. Mayhem. Mayhem? No way, Mayhem. You are coming to us live from your bed in your medical sick bay. Bill is in the house. You can't be petty. Hello, all. Robin is in the house. Daniel pew, pew, is here. Big slow target. Hey. Lost Muskrat is in the house. What else we got here? We got Bill Smith. Chuck is here. Hoorah. Our former Lyran player, rockin' and rollin'. Wolfman Jack, Daniel says. Yeah. You can't be petty is on board too. All right, let's see. Let's pop that back into the chat. There we go. Restore the chat. All right, let's roll into a little analysis of what's going on in our... Oh, before I do that, let me just quickly recap for you all where this all started. So when we talked about... Come here for a sec. When we talked about Splintered Will, we talked about the intro narrative on how that was all working. Well, let me read you the same one that we did for New Horizons, and then talk to you about how we're going and how we're progressing in this game. When we started, this was what was said. Space is the destiny of your people. But space is vast, and the distance between stars has proved a daunting obstacle to your expansion. Using primitive drive systems and generation ships, your people have managed to settle 2 worlds in deep space. But progress has been painstakingly slow. Until now. Sensors scanning deep space picked up a unique energy signature from the Lesser Magellanic Cloud. This signature was unique in that it reached all 3 worlds of your empire at nearly the same time. This would only be possible if the energy traveled much faster than the speed of light. This brief flash of exotic energy was all your scientists needed to develop a whole new science of warp fields. a way for vessels to travel many times faster than the speed of light. The first step was a mega project to create the first warp reactor, a massive project that consumed half of the homeworld's resources for many years. But success was inevitably achieved, and your people joined in celebration as the first warp reactor came online. 2 prototype ships have been built to begin your survey of deep space and your path to the stars. More ship designs are being created by naval architects, and scientists believe that even greater warp factors and other technologies can be unlocked with more research. There is one last complication. Within months of launching the first warp-capable exploration ship, new energy signatures were detected from across the galaxy. It seems that at least 9 other star systems out there have built and activated their own warp reactor projects. Will they be the fast friends or bitter rivals? Did these other worlds detect the activation of your own reactor, thus revealing the location of your homeworld? What caused the original signal that started you on this path? What does the future hold for your people? What awaits your people in the depths of space? What lies beyond this new horizon? So that is the beginning of the game for all intents and purposes. And that takes us to today, our discussion of this map. All right, this chart, not map, that we are looking at right now is an analysis of turn 41 in the game. You will note that there are a certain number of hexes that have been explored, with the Klingons literally twice, over double the amount that the Borak have discovered. You will see the number of EPs of each faction. Klingons at 37. I believe they are leading the pack by heads and shoulders above everybody else. Look at that. The Borak, 17 EP. That's 20 EP behind the Klingons. And then look at the EP density, meaning the concentration or the percentage chance that the hex you would discover has economic points in it. So you can see that the average is 28%. And as we go through, we can see that the Hydrons at 22%, the Federation and Borak at 24%, Klingons 23%, Paravians 26%, and then it goes up. So when we look at all these numbers, what can we say? We can say that if you are exploring a large number of hexes, the percentage starts to go down. It shouldn't necessarily be this way, but if you are lucky in the early part of the game and you've only explored a small bubble of hexes, but you just happen to find lots of resources in those hexes, your percentage goes up because each hex is proportionally more than you've discovered before. And as you discover more hexes, or the total number of hexes grows, each subsequent discovery decreases, has less impact overall on the number. And so there's going to be a downward trend regardless. So when we look at the lower your number of hexes explored, you would think there should be a correlation between that and the higher number of EP density. So let's look at the Kzinti by example. They have 59 hexes explored and a 39% EP density. That translates into a 23 economy. That's not bad. What else we got? We got 79 for the Tholians, and they have a 30% EP density. Who else is low on the numbers? 85 for the Paravians, and they have a 26 EP density. But when we look at the Borak, and this was funny because the GM, Daniel, pointed this out to me. The Borak have 72 hexes explored, the second lowest number. They have 17 EP, the lowest economy. And their EP density is the lowest, is very low, not the lowest because the Klingons have that, but is very low at 24%. And based on the statistical analysis, the average should be much higher. In fact, the Borak, if they were on track statistically, as far as luck goes, they should be well within the 30s. But no, they're at 24%. So as I was told by the GM, you have you have our permission to bitch and moan. You have our permission to complain and say that you're unlucky, because that seems to be what is happening at this point. And that's fair. That's fair. It is what it is. Not to mention that as a player, the the Borak are being, shall we say, poorly managed by their player. And so that's what's going on there. But very interesting nonetheless to look at that number, to look at that table, and see how things are going. Speaking of the first person on that list, let's head over to the Borak map. All right, here we are. Oh, no, that is not the Borak map. This is the chat. Pardon me. Let's head over to the Borak map. Let's try this again one more time. All right, we're back at the map. All right, let's zoom in here so we can get a little bit of a better view on what is going on. Let's start off with the most important things, such as EP and fleet cap. So when we start off with EP, you can see, as we saw in the table, the Borak have a total of 32 EP. But that's, again, you divide that in half, and that's their economy. So 32 EP, and you divide that by 2. It's not quite 17. It's 16, but interesting. Okay. So I guess that table is off, shall we say. So it's 16 EP in peacetime. This is turn 41. The Borak have 9 ship equivalents with a 30 attack and 68 defense. Well, what in the world is going on here? Well, we can see that at a quick glance, we take away the ships real quick, you can see that there is a very small number of bases built. And there's a YDK in being built here, which is very strange, unusual, shall we say. Why is that the case? Well, we can see here there is exploration occurring at the edge of supply. So we can see 3 supply. And at the edge of it, we've got our exploration ships doing their thing. We have a convoy up here doing extended range, providing supply for this ship doing its exploration. And of course, we've got exploration on the east side here. But why has progress stalled so much? That is due to these pretty little buggers right here, the sharks. Now, I think I discussed these guys at one point, but the sharks are a unique and challenging monster. Why? The sharks are a 4/4 monster per shark. So 4 attack, 4 defense. Sharks, when they attack your ship and they damage your ship to the point that it cripples, when they cripple your ship, they don't just cripple a ship, they destroy it. So there is no crippled ship in each round of combat. If they do enough damage to cripple your ship, they destroy your ship. And for every ship that they destroy, they spawn a new shark. Think of it like nanobots. They destroy your ship to the point that it can't fight and thereby destroy it, and then use the resources in the ship to propagate or populate a new one of it. So that's very confusing. Now there's 4.5 sharks here. This says 4.5 sharks. I am confused, Daniel, that they can. How is there a 0.5 of a shark? I would imagine we're dealing with whole numbers here. I am confused. Unless there is a baby shark. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark, do do. I mean, is that what's going on here? Is there a baby shark? Is that what's going on? Daniel, you'll have to let me know. But regardless, there are, shall we say, at a minimum, 4 sharks here. 4 sharks in a combat, in a battle line, 4 attack. That's 16 attack factor, 16 defense factor. So how am I going to defend myself against such a horrible thing? Well, we have the white dragon fleet that the Borak have created. Let's pull this up. This is the white dragon fleet. And so you can see here in the white dragon fleet, we have a couple things. We've consolidated a bunch of stuff, and we have a total of 6 YCAs. What is significant about the YCA for the Borak? It is a 4/6 ship, 4 attack, 6 defense. So 2 more defense factors than the sharks, but really, at the end of the day, that matters little, because we know that as soon as the sharks cripple a ship, they effectively destroy it and repopulate another one of them. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. In addition, we have 2 tugs here. Now, why do we have 2 tugs? Well, one tug is certainly doing the upgrade to this YDK. And why are we upgrading the YDK? Because we need a highly defensive structure to be able to defend against the sharks. And 2, this is the second nugget, so after exploring and identifying what the sharks are and what they can do, I had a discussion with the GM about strategies to be able to potentially deal with these sharks. So the current hypothesis, and we will see this in combat when it occurs, is that for each round of battle where a YCA is crippled/destroyed, a rescue tug will operate to be able to rescue it. And if the rescue tug is effective, because they have to roll to be able to successfully recover the ship, if they are successful, then they will be able to recover the ship and it won't populate another shark. So here is the goal. I only have 2 tugs and I've got 6 of these YCAs. The objective is to create the biggest, baddest attack factor, go into the battle, and probably won't do it in one shot. There'll probably have to be a couple of rounds of this battle. Hit the sharks, do 1 round of damage, or however much damage until they cripple a ship, then rescue that ship and retreat. And if I have a YDK there, then I can most likely repair all the ships that were crippled in that round of combat, and then away we go. The objective and the hope here is that I can, through attrition, grind down those sharks, because boy, are they bad news. So that's the objective. We'll see how that goes. I have yet to attack them. I believe next turn I will be attacking them, and we'll see what happens and how successful we are in attacking those sharks. But those sharks are certainly a pain in my posterior, and they are certainly slowing things down. So we'll see how that goes as we move forward. But that's the big news item here for the Borak. At the end of the day, the sharks showed up, and they are causing a huge speed bump because they are not a minor monster to deal with. And of course, each time I fight them and lose effectively, they grow bigger and they become more of a threat. And when I sent 1 YCA to go deal with them, and as a result, that YCA got destroyed and the sharks got more. So we'll see. Hopefully the objective is to grind them down and not repopulate more sharks as we go. That, my friends, is the Borak. Let's slide into the Carnivon now, and you will see that the Carnivon have some exciting things going on. I will share with you that little nugget on the end in just a moment. Let's talk about EP and fleet cap. All right, so there we got EP and fleet cap here in a momento. Okay, so we can see that the Carnivon have a total of 52 in their economy versus the 32 of the Borak. And we can see that they have a total of 34 ships with a 78 attack factor, 156 defense. Very interesting. Okay. Wow, look at all this. All right, let's take away the ships real quick so we can see what's going on here. Look at the concentration of EP. Wow. I'm looking at that table and I'm thinking this is pretty impressive. Look how densely packed those resources are. That's some good luck. Also, let's take a look here. We've got not 1 but 2 wormholes. 1 two-way wormhole back and forth. Note the diamond iconography around the edge, and then the triangles pointing inwards for the Bravo, meaning that's an innie, meaning it's a gravity well, a one-way wormhole. Very, very interesting. And then, of course, over here we've got a Gorn planet of Beam with planetary ground base and a YBS. When we bring the ships back, of course, they've got a 3rd fleet there. Let's see here. Are they under minor factions? Let's see here. Minor factions. Yeah, so they got, we talked about this before. They have an improved battleship destroyer and 2 Y-era frigates. So they, not exactly enough to be able to stop the Carnivons from doing whatever they want to do, but there are some ships there. And the Carnivon very clearly are pushing exploration hard. Look at all these ships on the edges of their territory, just pushing that exploration. Now, how many of these are survey ships? Very few, if any. In fact, I don't see any. Oh, there's one there, two there. But very clearly, they are producing more straight up cruisers than they are survey ships. Very interesting. But they are one of the highest, economies in the game so far. I'm just looking at the table now. The Carnivon, according to the table that we were looking at anyway, they had 37 EP versus they're doing very well. EPs. I see. That's EPs discovered versus maybe what you had initially with your planet. So the EPs discovered isn't quite the economy, but that's how many economic points you've uncovered in your exploration. So slight nuance there. But as you can see, the Carnivon are doing very, very well. Wow. And let's just take a moment and, ladies and gentlemen, Lost Muskrat has fired a coffee. And as you can see, the bar on the bottom has reached its full green. So we have reached our milestone of 4 for the first glass to be sent to our friend Mayhem. And I'm thinking you guys can let me know in the chat below what you think the gift should be. But I was thinking the 4X glass was a good option, but without showing any preference. Of course, we could always just send him a generic New Worlds glass, as he only got the splintered will one from before. So you let me know, which one do you think we should send him? We'll figure that out. But in the spirit of the bumping into to our friends and family, we have so very, very interestingly, we can see that this YFF has gone through the alpha wormhole. That's the alpha wormhole on the very edge of the map here. And it's popped out relatively close in this Sierra 36. And within 2 hexes, there is a warp signature. Now, I'm curious about this for 2 reasons. Normally, the sensor range of a ship is 1 hex, because that's the reaction range of the hex. If you have special sensors, you have the 2 range. So, for example, if you had a base or a scout and you're sitting in a hex, you can see 2 hexes out from a sensor perspective. But your normal ship can only detect ships within 1 hex radius of it. So there is an advantage, a 1 hex advantage, of having that extra sensor distance depending on the platform. You could have a base in 1 hex and detect something 2 hexes out versus the normal ship, which is only detecting things in its immediate vicinity within 1 hex radius. So I'm curious what the rationale is, or the mechanic is, for how a normal frigate can detect something 2 hexes away. I see Daniel has popped something in here. The wormhole exit point is not there. It's in some undisclosed location on the map due to the hidden position nature of player maps. Okay, very interesting. So this isn't the location. So hence the hex question mark thing right there. We don't know where that wormhole exit point is. Okay, fair. But there seems to be a warp signature on the other side. And notice the two size class 4 ships. Size class 4. So size class 4 would be small ships, i.e. equivalent to the frigate. So 2 size class 4 ships within sensor range. So we processed 2 back-to-back turns. So as that mystery ship did a drive-by, I wanted the Carnivons to know it was there. Oh, I see. So there was a ship that was within 1 hex of the YFF, and then it sort of scooted away or moved away. And okay, so it did come within 1 hex and then left. So we know that it was, let's say it was in Tango 35 or 36, and then we know that it moved away into the equivalent of Uniform 36 here, and so we know that's where it was. Okay, Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So key takeaways. One, that wormhole isn't as close to the Carnarvon proper as this particular little maplet is indicating, and the warp signature did come within 1 hex of that YFF and then moved away. All right. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So let's pop into the next faction on our map, and a couple of this is interesting. Okay. So this is the Federation. And I'm gonna pull up obviously EP here, and I'll put that over here, and then fleet cap, and where are we here? Put that there. Boom. Okay, so Federation is at 44.5, and for their EP, and Federation 29 ship equivalents with a 51 attack, 108 defense. Very interesting. Okay, so note the Borak had much smaller ship equivalents and over half of this offensive firepower. So interesting to note the split of ships. So let's take away the ships real quick, and you can see that the Federation has established a trade route between the Borak faction, the Vudar faction here. Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, another coffee has been fired from Robin J. Has fired us a coffee. Boom. Quick sip. Here we go. There ain't no hood like fatherhood. That's my glass for my cup today. All right, Robin J. Thank you for the coffee, sir. Okay, 3 more, and then we can fire another glass to our dear friend Mayhem in sickbay. All right, let's take a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 10 bases. 10 bases, not including the capital. One of them is a YDK, and 2 of them are going to be completed in short succession here. 1 in 86 spring and 1 in 86 fall. Interesting. They also have a wormhole, 2-way wormhole that they've built a base right on top of. Let's pop up those ships. Oh, they have a hospital ship, a Y-era hospital ship cruiser. Interesting to note. Huh. Interesting. Interesting choice to build that ship. I'm curious. Okay, so we have an R&D team on the wormhole with a scout. So I imagine that the R&D team is doing a survey of the wormhole and is trying to open up the wormhole as an option for exploration. So that's cool. What else do we have here? We have a number of tugs floating around, and let's just take a look at these fleets. I'm assuming, let's say 6th Fleet. We did this before. We talked about how they have these survey ships paired with a frigate, and just by example, let's look at 2nd Fleet as a comparison. So they have all their fleets are these survey cruisers with a frigate escort, and you can see they're really pushing the limits of their exploration. But look at the difference in density of the Federation versus the Carnarvon. Like, the Carnarvon really discovered a lot of concentrated resources, from colonies to resources, hexes, versus even the Federation. And the Federation are doing quite well, but the concentration is very different. So interesting to note there. And of course, they've got this trade route, and they've got a trade route with this developing planet, and that gives them 0.5 EP. So whatever their resource or what their income is, add 0.5 EP to it, and that's where we're at. Interesting that the number of wormholes is every map so far that we've seen has a wormhole. So that, I think, is interesting to note as far as how wormholes are going to play in the rest of this game. Let's roll on to the Hydrons. What's that I see? Let me zoom in. Is that a warp signature? Oh my goodness. Let's look at Iridium Fleet. Hydron, Iridium Fleet. Metal. Iridium is a WSR. So a WSR, I guess, it's built on a destroyer hull, so a size class 4 ship, plus a Vol, which is a size class 4 frigate. So those 2 ships came in, came out, and that is what the ship detected. Interesting to note. So you're hearing it here first, folks. The 2 green factions have almost made contact. That is the Carnarvon and the Hydrants. What is going to happen between these 2 factions? Are there going to be shenanigans between them? Is there going to be hot shots of hellbores and heel nippers between them? Or is there going to be something else in a more collaborative fashion? We will have to see. You can see the Hydrants here have a 41.5 EP economy with 34 ship equivalents, 69 attack, great number, and 144 defense. Interesting to note. Obviously, all the fleets pushing out the exploration as fast as we can do it. And, let's take away the ships real quick so we can see all the bases. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Am I doing that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bases, 12 bases. 12 bases under either constructed or under construction. 1 YDK up in here. Interesting. Away from the potential contact point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 hexes away from the capital. Interesting to note. And let's bring those ships back. And we can see we've got some tugs floating around doing their tuggy type things. We've got obviously all the exploration fleets. Let me pull up the fleet cap real quick, and I'm going to take a look at. So if we look at all their fleets, we can see predominantly paired up, for example, 2, 2, 2. We've got 3 in the Hydrant fleet. Looking at ship equivalents and then the corresponding combat and defense factors. So we know that the YSR, or the Y Air Survey ship for the Hydrants, is a 1 attack ship. And so just looking at the combination of defense and attack factors here, we can see that there is a majority of survey ships paired with frigates and so on. So this single frigate warp signature is not going to make or break anything, but it'll be interesting to note to what degree that warp signature can, or that wormhole is going to potentially make an impact on anything. Also note that when the Carnarvon frigate went through that wormhole, it was not crippled, meaning that the Carnarvon have had wormhole tech and have done research on wormhole tech for some time. Just saying. There's some interesting options that are coming out there. Interesting. Yeah. Now look at if I take away the bases, look at the concentration of resources as well. Compare it to the Carnarvon. I mean, they're not doing badly, but the density of those resources based on the footprint, a lot more dense for the Carnarvon. They really had like a stretch there where they were doing really well on the exploration, which is interesting to note. I'm also going to pull up the supply menu for the Hydrants, and let's assume they have supply 3 at this point. That's the supply. So they can get to that wormhole, that is for sure. And they've got lots of unexplored hexes that they can check out. So interesting to note the footprint that they have relative to what they're encountering. Interesting. All right, let's take away that supply. Hydrant. Boom. Okay. Let's move on to our next category. We have the ISC. Let's zoom in to our ISC. And once again, note the wormhole. It's a one-way wormhole. It's a gravity well, as in an innie, not an outie. So that's interesting to note. Certainly they can still open wormhole tech with that, but they don't have a full two-way wormhole. Now, that being said, wormholes do have a tendency to be fickle and change, but just interesting to note. As we look at fleet cap and EP, you can see that the ISC have 35 economy, much more similar, sort of, to the Borak a little bit there, versus they have 15 ship equivalents, 34 attack, 78 defense. This is much more in line with what the Borak have as far as attack and defense factors. Interesting to note the growth of it, I guess. we can see that we have Terminus here, which is looks like a Romulan planet with a YDK, no less. Oh, let's see. So let's look at minor fleets. Wow. Kingbird, Warbird, 3 Hawks, and 6 Snipes. Wow, these guys are locked, cocked, and ready to rock, and they are unhappy with the IC. So they're already at war. Bang, right off the bat. Very interesting. So somehow the ISC have either pissed them off or done something to make things not so great. And we can see that the ISC don't necessarily have a large combat effectiveness to be able to deal with. I mean, like, even just look at this. Let's look at the fleet cap real quick. The Romulans have 11 ships compared to the ISC's 15. They have a 29 attack factor compared to the 34. And, of course, they've got a YDK. So I'm seeing the Romulans in this case as being a significant threat to the ISC player faction. Interesting. Huh. Interesting. Bill's saying, does not mean a thing until you see the color of the chit. Warp signature, size, class, plus number match. They're talking about the Carnivon and the Hydron stuff. All right, let's take a look. Let's see. I'm just going to take a peek in their home fleet since that's the closest one here. Just curious. ISC home fleet. So we can see we've got a YCC, which is a 4 attack, 6 defense ship. This is the exception to the rule, sort of when I was talking about 4-6 cruisers being the standard. The ISC have obviously a slightly more buff ship. Same attack, but 1 more defense, so a 4-7 with a couple frigates backing that up. But interesting to note, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I'm not saying they will, but if the Romulans wanted to, if they were so inclined, they could start expanding out and taking territory from the ISC, and that could be a huge issue for the ISC because, at least from a sensor perspective, let's say. Oh, okay, so there's 2 things, depending on how the GM wants to play it. The Romulans have, within sensor range, a colony, and if their supply networks are connected, which it looks like they are within 3 hexes, then they have visibility on each other. There is a minor planet here which is very lightly defended, and the fleet that would respond to it can't really stop this fleet from going in and taking it. So what would happen if the Romulans decided to start taking territory and putting the pressure on the ISC? How is the GM going to play it? How is it going to work? How much is he going to pressure the ISC as a player? Because right now, I see that the Romulans could cause serious pain and hardship to the ISC if they wanted to. And I think it's reasonable to think that if they are already at war, i.e. hating them, that there is a strong likelihood that either they take this minor planet or they start taking some of these colonies around here. Interesting to note. And also, I'm curious, this YFES is outside of supply range because I don't expect that they're at 4 supply yet. And that's a range of 4 from their nearest supply point. So either the Romulans have destroyed a convoy that was providing supply, because we can see there's quite a few convoys floating around, or a ship that was providing extended supply, and that battle or that war is already on. So very, very, very interesting. Okay. Interesting. I wonder, what are the ISC going to do here? Are they going to go full bore and attack the Romulans? I feel like that's an appropriate response. Yeah, this is very interesting, and it's a developing planet, so it's not nothing. I'm very interested to see how they respond to this threat. All right, let's moving on to the big bad Klingons. If I zoom in here, they are really at the edge of this little maplet of what I can sort of fit in. Let's take a look at the EPs, and you can see that the EPs, they are, wow, 525. So it's 52.5 EP for the Klingons. Unreal. And if we look at fleet cap, I bet it is sick as well. Let's put it in the bottom corner over here. We can see it is 28 ships, 57 attack, 147 defense. So not crazy, but not not nothing. The Gorn, which is the minor faction they have here, has 10 ship equivalents with the 2339. Interesting to note. Okay, so in a previous episode, we were talking about this map, the Klingon map. They were really pushing hard on the exploration to the east. And again, let's just take away ships and bases for a sec. This is their capital in the top left-hand corner. Look to what degree are they pushing out and expanding? They are very much looking for something or moving towards something. Look at that. Interesting. Very interesting. The YFELs are pushing hard to the east. That you can see the T4 is up and running. It looks like they're building bases prolifically in order to push to the east. They're making the maximum use that they can of their expanded range, I guess, on the 3 supply side. Very interesting to see that strategy, and I'll be interested to see versus other factions when they play out. We also have this raider here in the bottom corner. Not too much of an issue. But let's take a look at their home fleet, which is, of course, not too far away. But let's see here. Klingon home fleet. What do we got? Oh, wow. He's really pumping out those F4s. Great ship, by the way. 6 of them. 3 attack, 4 defense. 2 D4s, 4 6s. And, that's looking good. We've got Green Fleet here, which is more sort of in the home system. Klingon Green Fleet, I believe that's Kempek? Nope. Duras is red. Okay, here we go. Boom. So he's got the E1Ts, more E1Ts, and a T4. So this is like the logistics fleet in Green Fleet. Very interesting. Yeah, there's the Klingons are certainly not to be sneezed at when it comes to their offensive firepower. That home fleet is quite decent. And I'm sure they'll be redeployed to be able to deal with this raider. But you see how we've got the exploration cruiser down here, along with North and Red Fleet. Let's just take a quick look at the Duras Red Fleet. D3E, so it's a survey ship. North Fleet, I bet you it's probably something similar. North Fleet, East. The Durases are doing a strong business here. Okay, so just as a because I know you can't quite see it here. We've got the D3E in Red Fleet, which is in the bottom right, and then North Fleet. I know I've I inverted them. North Fleet is a D4E, so he's got survey cruisers doing exploration, and in combination with his large exploration freighters. So really making best use of a combination of supply and his ability to explore and expand. Very interesting. Okay. Let's move on to our second last, which is the Lyrans. Look at this little bean of a footprint we got here. So let's pull up the EP and fleet cap for this bad boy. We can see we've got the Lyrans at 39 EP, and they've got more than a couple of third-party minor factions that they're dealing with. The Lyrans have 18 ship equivalents with 36 attack, 92 defense. But keep in mind they've got 2 minor factions. The Gorn with 11 ships with a competitive 24 attack, 40 defense, and the Remans 6 with 16 and 19. So let's take a quick look at 4th Fleet here on this minor faction. Woo! I'll put this up here and I'll zoom this up here. Okay, so we've got Triton Fleet, which is sitting here. It's a Riemann faction with a command cruiser. These are all W-era ships doing some damage, whereas 4th Fleet has Y-era ships, and they are much more potent, relatively speaking. Command cruiser with a 3-5, light cruiser, again 3-5, 3 DDs, and 3 YFFs. This looks to be a much more defensible position, and certainly they've got a YBS there doing some business. But note look at those YSRs. So many YSRs pushing forth and doing exploration. And again, let's just pull that back. Really pushing to the east. They're pushing laterally. So this makes me think that maybe the Lyrans are on the top of the map, or based on the sort of curved nature, I'm thinking the top of the map pushing south. Interesting. Let's pull back their bases, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases along with a planetary ground base here. And, of course, they're building this base so they can get supply and get that resource there and expand in that direction. Interesting. The Lyrans are certainly doing a good job of pushing the pace and expanding that. All right, here we go. We're going to roll into the Tholians, which are another strong faction in this game. Just as a reminder, the Tholians, according to our table, boom, someone has fired another coffee. Let's take a quick sip. Cheers, big ears. And I say someone because it like literally says coffee fired by someone. So the Tholians have a really good EP density with 24 EPs discovered. So let's take a look at their total EP. They are showing us that they have a 36 economy, which is, again, a good sort of par for the course here. And they have, from a fleet cap perspective, we can see that they've got 21 ships, 37 attack, 113 defense. Now, notably, Tholians have poor ships in the beginning, like the Gorn. But they'll get there. All right, so what do we got? We've got a Vudar faction here with Spirit Fleet, and they are indifferent. We have a Gorn faction with Mobile Fleet, and they are indifferent. We look up the minor fleets, and we can see here, as I make this a little bit easier to see, we can see that the Vudar have W era ships, CA, CL, DD, 2 DDs, and 2 FFs. So we have quite a collection there on Spirit Fleet. Mobile Fleet is comprised of Y era ships, a command cruiser, 2 destroyers, and 3 frigates. By comparison, both of these factions with a planetary ground base and a YBS in defense. We've also got a Orion faction up here that the Tholians have encountered, and it would seem that they've done some damage because they've got a crippled YDD that they're repairing back here at their home base. Interesting to note. Okay, so Fifth Fleet. Let's look at Tholian Fifth Fleet. What's in Fifth Fleet? Concentration. Oh, definitely not an offensive fleet with a exploration freighter and a prime team. I have a feeling that is about to get smoked by the Tholians as they will, or sorry, the Orions as they will go first. Interesting to note. Also, another wormhole. Look at this wormhole right here. Echo. The proliferation of wormholes in this game is of particular note, and I think they are going to be of a huge impact in this game. If I'm a player, I'm researching wormholes ASAP, if only because it definitely seems as though wormholes are going to be an important strategic tool in this game. So again, the footprint is small, the density is high, definitely better than the Borak, and they are pushing hard on what they have. And the fact that they've discovered 2 minor factions already, I would highly encourage the Tholian player to begin trading with both of these folks because that's just a quick 1 EP that you can get right off the bat. And, of course, that'll help improve planetary attitude potentially with these factions, assuming you don't suffer some catastrophic error and things go sideways. All right, those are our factions for this game. Let's slide back to the main screen. All right, everybody. Very interesting. I'm going to go into the chat. There are some good things. I'm noting that we're coming up on the hour, and I'll make a quick look at the chat here, and then if I can pop it out, and then we will go from there. Okay, so we've got Big Slow Target. Many thanks for clearing out that Y convoy. Clearing up that Y convoy can move and supply on the same turn. That is going to let me finally step up exploration to the next level. Yes, convoys have that unique ability versus tugs. Tugs got to be sort of established in position before they can do that. Convoys, not so much. They can move and supply same turn. The decreasing density means exploration can be used offensively. Exploring aggressively towards another player kind of depletes the resources more towards their area. Interesting. we know what Big Slow Target is planning at. The Klingon player, by note. What else we got here? 4 sharks, 1 crippled shark, Daniel says. I thought the sharks couldn't be crippled. A crippled shark. Okay, so I guess sharks can be crippled. That is going to be annoying because they can be crippled and I can't. That is going to be very frustrating. What's in White Dragon Fleet? Well, we can't see White Dragon Fleet. Okay, White Dragon Fleet was 6 YCAs and 2 tugs. So the YCAs were 4 6s and the tugs are 2 6s or 2 5s, I think. And as I mentioned, the strategy is to use the tugs as rescue tugs to be able to rescue. What else we got here? 1 attack, 1 defense. Vulcan survey cruisers are particularly good at exploration. It's not easy being green, says Lost Muskrat. How do we know hydrants bumped into carnies? Bill says. Warp signature noted the size, class, plus the numbers match. Yeah. I mean, it's possible that wasn't the case, but the combination of the size 2 size class 4 signatures and 1 size class 4 signature on either side, that makes sense. But who knows? I guess the carnies and the hydrants are just going to have to explore more and figure that out. What else we got here? Hey, Daniel, I thought we weren't playing with Orions. We weren't playing with them in the way that we were playing with them before, but I think they're just, so shall we say, a geographic feature that can pop up, and then, of course, ships that can attack and defend. I agree with that, Bill. Bet everything and maybe lose everything is how it goes. Interesting. It is probably the carnies, but I would not bet the house. The reason being everyone is going to sacrifice only 1 ship at a time. Interesting. Okay, well let's pop that back into the chat there and let's see how we are doing. Orions are not a faction that you can do diplomacy with. They are a nuisance that you need to squish. That's what Daniel's saying. Yeah, no, absolutely. Fair. Okay. Well, everybody, we're at the hour mark. I wanted this to be a little bit of a shorter episode for today. How do you think that went? What are your thoughts on the evolution of the New Horizons campaign? I know I've got to do a little work on my turn. We're now going 1 turn at a time, so the turns will you will see the progression week after week. And at this point, it looks like we're alternating between campaigns, so we'll see how that progresses. Let me know if you like in the thumbnail seeing the little icon of what campaign we're talking about in the thumbnail. Let me know if that's something you want to keep seeing. And other than that, for those of you who are on the Discord channel, if you're not already, hit that QR code and the link down below and join us at Coffee and Discord, and I will see you there. We can chat it up and go back and forth. Besides, I gotta send Lost Muskrat. Sorry, not Lost Muskrat. I gotta send Mayhem a glass, and we gotta figure out what glass we are sending. We're currently at 150% of our goal, so that means we have a total of 6 coffee donations. Remember, every 4 was a new glass to Mayhem, so we will send that your way, Mayhem, and hopefully by the time you get home, the glass will be waiting for you. All right, with that said, thank you very much, everybody. I will see you in the Discord chat, and if you're not already there, head over to Coffee, and we'll see you there. Otherwise, I will see you later today for the bevies, and we'll see the little video here for that. I'll see you later today for the bevies and banter, and of course, be on the lookout in the community tab for the timing, and of course, get your alerts up and running on the YouTube channel for the timing for next week's live stream. Because, of course, I'll be at the Remembrance Day ceremony. All right, ciao for now, and I will see you next week. Or I'll see you later today.